12 hours. 12 hours in minutes is 720 minutes. All the money you make is yours, commission free. I thank you guys all for supporting Shatta from day one up to now. And I just want to tell you guys that Shatta has a good package for everyone, both our riders and our drivers. Thank you so much for supporting Shatta. Shatta, it's time to ride. Subscribe with 20 Ghana cedi. Use it for 12 hours. 12 hours in minutes is 720 minutes. All the money you make is yours, commission free. I thank you guys all for supporting Shatta from day one up to now. And I just want to tell you guys that Shatta has a good package for everyone, both our riders and our drivers. Thank you so much for supporting Shatta. Shatta, it's time to ride.
Mommy, simple squat crown to me. I don't think I'm saying badging.
Boss, me feature ko yare ya and so cranty meet me badging me to aso and so ntima hwe mejuma.
Se wuton we area e na wunya anu eduro.
Wati agbevetonic nka.
Eduro tatahwe a esa efeche komu yawo.
Obi a nanum ato eni kokko.
Omo wo agbeve fever a esa malaria a edi fever eni hunam yawo eba. Na mum se obenuma ese se wo ye test ehun se wo malaria ansa na wa no.
Herbal mist capsule. Aye dropa ebi na menum. Sa onuma ema woyemgu ema free bar esa koko eni sisi yare
midie agbeve heba ti na menu eyi obrefrem so
omo a wontumenda sa onuma ubetumi ade yi
edre nyina enye ma apemfo oba a oma akodanufo eni akoda a ondi mfedumi FDA ajedwede nkrato yi ati.
Hi family, have you noticed now Vema comes without a seal? Same refreshing taste in a lighter bottle with less plastic, less waste. Easy to compress and shrink for recycling. One small change, one big step for a cleaner future. Join us protect our planet. No seal, less waste.
Just as you can see me in my Black Star jersey, it should tell you something. What it simply means that we are ready for the World Cup 2026. We are ready. Yesterday, I think when was it yesterday or last 2 days ago, when Ghana finally played that last but one match, which to me was the decider, I was so excited and I knew that indeed we are heading straight to the World Cup. America, Mexico, Canada, and all the countries that you can mention, we are sure going to make an appearance. Sunday will be our final hurdle, and I still want to believe that come what may, we are going to qualify. So one, you have to start getting your jerseys down. This is my jersey. As a matter of fact, my number 10 jersey, and at the back it has Shatta Wale at the back. Yeah, I'll be showing it to you before I close the show. It has Shatta Wale at the back, and it should tell you that Team Shatta movement, we are ready for the World Cup. For some reasons, today, someone just popped on my timeline with some videos of Shatta when he was celebrating to some win of Black Stars. I'm not too sure if it was AFCON or it was World Cup. I'm not too sure, but one of them. He was alone in his corners enjoying the match, and he was also happy about the win here and there. And I think it feels good to know that we are ready for the World Cup. But beyond that, we also have our things to talk about. Remember, this is Showbiz Today. Showbiz Today is live. Very, very interactive. I do this with you people from all over the world. Tell them that Sammy Flex is seated with Showbiz Today. As of yesterday on Showbiz Daily, I remember giving this promise that today, all things being equal, if I get a time, I'll be here to respond to some of the allegations, some of the attacks on Shatta Wale by Kwaw Kesse. Interestingly, these are people who have championed the music industry, especially from hip life till now. And unfortunately, when you think that anytime they come together, they should be able to preach positivity in the industry, no, they come online or on air and it's all about some attacks. It's all about some image smearing here and there. And I think that particular thing, if we cannot stop it, we should reduce it. If we cannot stop it, we should reduce it. So today on Hit FM, big shouts to Kwame, Dazi, and Doreen Avio. I think their combination or their pair is not doing bad for the Daybreak Hit show. So big shouts to you, Kwame, Dazi, and Doreen Avio. Your combination on that show, I think, is working some magic. But then, when the people come and they say their things and they don't say it right on this platform, we also have our power. We also have our audience. We also have the people we reach out to. Definitely, we will be reaching out to them. So, ladies and gentlemen, join me on this journey. Remember, it is the Friday edition of Showbiz Today, right here on Sammy Flex TV. My name is Sammy Flex, and I'm doing this with my team of producers. Gerald is on camera. Show is being produced by Desert, as well as being directed by Sammy Tuga and man like Theophilus Digosh. You are welcome. Remember, this show is open. So on Facebook, you can drop your commentaries. I'll be reading them. Remember, all the time. On Facebook, drop your commentaries. I'll be reading them. On YouTube, Sammy Flex TV, drop your commentaries. I'll be reading them. And again, we are also streaming live on Agbevet TV. That is a partnership, Sammy Flex TV and Agbevet TV. So you just have to know this as well. So we are streaming live on Sammy Flex TV, Facebook, Sammy Flex TV, YouTube, and we are also live on Agbevet TV. And we have a lot of stories to talk about. I think when it is about when it's about 4 p.m. rather, I would also activate the phone lines for you guys to join in the conversation. You can also call to be a part of the conversation. And with this, you are good to go. I also have DJ Sticker with me in the studio. I think I was starting show me and the DJ Sticker so much say the machine right make us no fire and you guys should watch out for that. That is also coming live on Sammy Flex TV. We'll be doing that to promote some of your works, and we have some plans, so you guys should watch out for it. Sticker, check the AC for me. Oh, please put it to 16. Check my AC na to 16 as a and we are not sure the don't mon family call America and family call London for AC need to 16 tom 26 na down there Obama or show akumi every Ghana ha. All right, so now that we are set, it means that we are good to go. My producer has compiled some of the things Kwaw Kesse talked about on Hit FM, and he will be calling out these videos, and as and when they drop, I also share my 2 cents. In fact, I'm not here to insult. I'm not here to say anything derogatory about his brand, but I'm here to set the record straight. I'm not here to insult. In fact, I always tell people that when it comes to Sammy Flex, one thing I try to do well is to attach professionalism to my kind of thing. I always come here and I attach professionalism. Some people will come speaking all sort of languages here and there that no. I come to set the record straight, to speak the facts to those who need to hear the facts. And that is why I'm here. So if you're also here, I'm calling your indulgence. We are not here to insult anybody. We are just here to share facts. One thing I have learned is that ever since I started working with Shatta Movement Empire, some people made it a point to always throw dust on the brand. That is the Shatta Movement brand. Because it was attractive to just say anything about the Shatta Movement brand. And yesterday I read a post from Kwame Dazi. Director, if you have that post, you can bring it again. Maybe I can explain it to people, for people to get exactly what Kwame Dazi wrote and why I thought it was important for us to talk about it, and even why I'm here to do this particular edition of the Showbiz Today. Yes, director, I'll bring that one and I'll be reading that to you ASAP so that you get to know what I'm talking about. Kwame Dazi in his post said that in our industry, sometimes it is easy for us to join the bandwagon. And when I say bandwagon, some people just fancy to say, oh, Shatta Wale is bad. Shatta Wale is bad. Shatta Wale is bad because they have heard other people saying it. That is the head instinct. And head is not this head. It is H-E-R-D. People just enjoy saying it because, oh, what is will be can be. Or to say presenter be can be what Peace FM. Or to say presenter be can be what Hits FM. Or to say presenter be can be what Adum FM. To say, oh, my candia. And also, it is just okay for him to also say it. As to whether it is factual or not. As to whether to him he has something that will prove that someone is bad or not. He's just saying it because ayefu someone can be into also or can be keke. Unfortunately, that is how the thing has become. But me back company who say, hey, I'm on form and I say easy to just say anything about Shatta Wale, but it's not. Now this is Kwame Dazi. It says proper PR influences head-driven decisions. Proper PR influences head-driven decisions. And what the caption or the headline out trying to say, when you are able to put out a specific message in the form of a PR or in any other form, it is always good to influence people just to say it because they have heard it. And he wrote, there is the tendency for people to affiliate with what the majority has endorsed without thinking twice about it. It is true. I say it is psychological. I say what is a nipa bebre? Can't insane beer. Also, ultimately can be on your home crop. You don't even think about it. Oh, can be keke because so beer can be. Everybody is saying it, and so beer can say there. Mesume can be. And I say ewa dreamu. Akoye say obi wo ha ebia ade bi onye bi da o. Ba wate say enkofo ka say ade ye de ya say ade de ya say wote ye nti no ono so beka bi easily without even thinking mame nkoye na me hwe se na etie da bi onko kan hwempo say na etie nti ono so beka na easily. I said the obvious also holds true. When a lot of people are saying bad things about someone, it is likely for an individual to move away. 2, it is called head instinct or head mentality. I say sounds na say amafo kan won asemboni de bia ekofo bi wa mo nyi humpo omo ti say yesi we de onye enti enya ka say onye ne de bam sa no mo so ka bi. That is what he said. It is called head mentality or head instincts. And says a lot of people would want to associate with what is winning, what is on top or widely praised. Inipa bebre enema yes ekoyi we na winning and I win the ebona so no be apesoko. That is why an artist with notoriety for what is largely unacceptable will suddenly win people's love after receiving glory projected by PR. I say ebia artist be amafo bebre things aro there onye o nemo say yetimi ka ne ho sempa ema sa de ni free wa enipa bebre nso betimi adi akire. And also the same applies to another artist once admired for decency and talent who later becomes unpopular because of reckless actions. Also sounds so the artist be so obi artist so we dey on papa name for some actions no why reckless okay can say mu or yen say mu or say ehonso it misses am. Now the PR is not just about speaking beautiful language, it is a strategy. Agenda setting requires tact. And I want you to pay attention to the final statement. I say PR is not just about speaking beautiful language. It is a strategy. Agenda setting requires tact. Now, to some people, say one show you na uja omusomo ki kan sem keka. Omo be set agenda against you, and that agenda will come and hurt you. So yesterday, when Kesse was on the platform, Hits FM, oh yeah, na Shatta Wale umuade na Shatta Wale wa disrespect you bia na Shatta Wale why say no me say agenda say ya na starting omo back kan say ya bonenkofo bi nso asom na omo de asi road na omo de akọ market na yes sanity no yentra ho man nyesa. In fact, as much as I'm still part of this industry and I belong to the Shatta movement, I'll not come and insult you like I keep saying. I don't do that. But I always come and set the record straight. Now, that's video number 1. You can bring it up. Now, yenti de Kwaw eko kan ho. Na yentoaso. Stay tuned. I'll be back.
People that have shown love multiple times on their stage, they didn't show up. But the same night, there was another show somewhere. a Gen Z was having a show, and they showed up to the Gen Z. So, you know, so you said something before that, oh, you don't see me at events and stuff like that. You know, I'm not a pretender. I'm not the type that will come and smile with you and at the back of my head there's something going on. So when pretenders meet, I don't go there. You see, the industry is full of fake people. They will see you today, they will smile with you, nice, do everything. But behind you, there's a lot going on. And you know, it's life, you know, it's life, and I take it like that, you know, and all these things.
This is Hits.
Well, so try to see a breakdown of this first video. Directors Day at Abontino. Once again, like I said, this particular edition of Showbiz Today is going to address some of the negativities that Kwaw Kesse has started preaching about the Shatta brand. Now, everyone will say it is at this time that Kwaw Kesse is trying to do this. In fact, at the time that the whole world, everybody is singing Shatta Wale's praises. Everybody is seeing the light. Everybody has seen the positive side of the brand, you know. So time that Kwaw Kesse from nowhere, Oba interview and also say Oba better na adwene. Unfortunately, Oba enso a adwene training nsem na okeka no. Ni nyina black nko wan ka white impo. At the time I be Shatta first. I say obi an share white. If I'm not Shatta first. Everybody is wearing white. Everybody is speaking white, no. Kwaw Kesse nko afa e quota de ai nsem e na amman for white na o ma hye no. Ode ne nsem bomb ntare pa or say musa, but no. Enkoso. Remember, this is Showbiz Today. Showbiz Today, you can fact. And Makato is Showbiz Today. We are here, Sammy Flex TV, Facebook, YouTube. We bring it here. And we are proudly sponsored by Shatta. Shatta, it is time to ride. If you are watching me, now, call phone, so now Shatta app, and so why late? Kesse, you have to download the app now. Start ordering your vehicles. Go anywhere you want to go in comfort. And tell the world that if you come to Ghana, if I Ghana, but be Albana, open. Comfortable and the safest ride and the cheapest as well. Very, very affordable there. It is Shatta and nothing else. Now, Kwaw Kesse is talking about fake people in the industry. And I want to believe he was answering to a question of why maybe he does not make appearances on some shows. You know, like we do as artists. A Bimu TV organized show number from Monanfu for some Mrame support you. The just ended Rapaholic in Kumasi. We saw how the whole industry was there to support Sarkodie. I'm sure Kwaw Kesse was asked why he does not attend some of these shows, and Kwaw Kesse is talking about pretenders and he's talking about fakers in the industry. Is it true that there are pretenders and fakers in the industry? Yes, it is true. It is true. That one, no two ways about that. Like he said, people will meet you, smile with you, laugh with you, but behind you, and someone bet me about you, no, is that thing a reality in the industry? Yes, it is real. Kosu, sisi amenoka say, sadie no ekosu industry, it is not fake. It is really happening. It is bibia ekosu day to day activities in ekosu ekophobia. But then, is everybody fake in the industry? Is everybody a pretender in the industry? And that is an obvious no. It is true said there are fakers and pretenders, and then that's why I said from the beginning, that point I agree with him wholeheartedly. I am part and Kofobi a fake industry. They laugh with you, smile with you, but behind you, they say a lot of negative things about you. Me gidi say ebi yemi. Ebi ayemi da. Ebi gusu yemi. At the end of the day, and yet obia no hater and a pretender industry name. Choose your circles right. I'm not sure say Kwaw Kesse can say industry no buy muno obian show ne love, loyalty and support to that. That will also not be true. Definitely, Nkophobia show the love, Nkophobia show the loyalty. Same way Nkophobia show disappointed, which is part of life. And in fact, we create industry as a munkwa. The moment our OTV say our living kwa da yeden, ubenya obia obe disappointed, ubenya obe show love, and nina a part of life. So sometimes, when we are on platforms like this and you feel say, oh, you won and sembika because Nkophobia akayen sema, I think say it will be advised I will say very bold. na yakas oh asumasi or me say asumasi or can say. I think that will help than always repaint the whole industry black. For some time, I've been reading some stuff on Socrates Sappho's Facebook page, and I don't know where he has gotten that inspiration to be writing for the past days. You see, our Socrates Sappho page, in fact, he's been writing some beautiful theses there. These are typical industry issues or tuning. If you are not a lover of reading, on reading because I know why ye, but me who say obi actually be sir. It is one of the reasons why I love to be on Facebook because when I get to read, TikTok also a different job Instagram different job but bia ne de obekwa obakoye. Ebi all kind Facebook and no brand no akofa TikTok aka no akosha manfo motunyum no mo sa girls are mo shake yom to kakra. Oh, they are too precious. So now I'll move on. So I love to read what Socrates Sappho has been writing on Facebook, and he said something. I say industry way. As an industry. In fact, when he was writing it, or a reference to xylophone fund, almost start here. Xylophone fund Kesse industry no mo here capital there project no omomra oma magiska no mo fanko ye yo mo niema no mo de koyo yo mo niema wi sika na de mo yenji bi nka ho. We are just giving you soft loan. We could tua bi nka ho e bia o 100,000 koyo movie a uwie a 100,000 now de koyo movie now timi ton kaka na no was 100,000 na ba no bi so pebi de akoko any event no so abeje. Socrates Sappho wrote that yan na egu no man for beji ska no every time also the banana farmer sad time now so dan kofo mi so te radio ni TV so can say about the project, about the CEO. In fact, time my men's good sakranya problem there na say nipa bia sad time na sika no mo ba ho beji bi ni na no obe no mo trade no mo kan kwasem bo no mo titi no mo kan kwasem. All these things Socrates Sappho wrote about them, and it was beautiful. Me kind piece nam so wow, this is beautiful. Or see industry na yes say so be bumping or say you na kambo ni ya dabi ni e kan semboni. And I think it is the same thing Kwaw Kesse. If I read or if I watch what he said right now, sad any been about me to say or yam na ko say into bia na we fake na or bia na fake industry. Na say me who says any ma me yi na ne papa yi was redro. Artist ni be ba ho. Of course, and you bia na be ba. Wow, you be face bia you are telling lie to yourself. Me mama e ka mu am ko ye yi ko menim o ma beba menim also o ma be me beba obi my friend impo because menim say menim impo ni sa anya so mama ya wunti o ni pa ni ne hwe no wa call command invitation say o mda no wa ma wa be ka say industry ni fake daddy o ma ni o mo kwa ni o ko ma ni o ba no sankofo na do sack times abi hu it is a Kwaw Kesse na obi for event na wa nkwa e no chase obi aye fake sankofo na so o man frank of impo mo koy. And I think that should be noted. Yes, there are pretenders in the industry, there are fakers in the industry, but you be so when we are talking about the industry, I have sometimes young qualified in a way. So no be tie no tian kasi za mo de ze mo de mo nya papa o ze de bia mo de say ya na mo tie. And I think that should be corrected moving forward, not only to Kwaw Kesse, to everybody who will be speaking about the industry. There are positives in the industry. So in our bid to rush to put out the negative, I said the more we put out the negative, they come back to hurt us. They come back to hurt you and I. To one day back at now, big man be any didn't come up, open support be make me the rabba, so more I say money papa. More I say mondo more I say we fake no. Let's gather and speak our issues well. I think it will be good. That take me to video number 2. Nafe yen twaso na yen share and some na ekoso nyina.
2 years of you being in the industry, what would you say has been your contribution to the industry?
Oh, we helped shape this industry. Like, I am the only hip life musician alive right now doing great and still doing it. A lot of hype, this hip life musicians don't do it anymore. Most of them have, turned from doing hip life to singing, trying to do their Afro beat, and I still do my thing, hip life, 100%.
This is Hits.
This is Kwaw Kesse talking about his brand. I'm not sure I have much to say here because what else do you expect him to say? It is true. You have to project your brand in the best way possible. And I also want to agree that when it comes to hip life, Kwaw Kesse is holding on to hip life. I think I want to agree with him. Because the star now, you need the dada now, no. It is obvious that he's still holding on to it. He's not stopped that style. So if Kwaw Kesse is saying, say, Nipa Bebre on almost started hip life no, a beer drop or no de okromua, I'm not sure we can argue much. Because indeed, and then a bra industry near Dana say Afrobeat na a trend na a rain no. Many people moved on to that side. A being some movie call a say Charlie, you call her a daily bread wa. At the end of the day, why are we doing it? We are doing it for survival. It is a hana be and also tell be a commo, ne commodos that be movie and another day. Oh yeah, on your bonny. Yes, say a we as no a message. And what is Sammy? Or Brafo Crapo can be. Or say a bread dania, no dani, a bunny moor, now boom. And yes, I dare Madra Oche. Okay, no, your friend is saying, comfort day. But there was another one, or Brafon's okay, I think in killing the game or so. And I say, Oni Guru, Kasiebo, yes, or senior man assistant, yes, son, I was what son, and Bibia, just to win. So if Kwaw Kesse is saying, Nipa Bebre, agile hip life at all, but he is still holding on to hip life, I think it is right for him to say that. Because even in Ghana Music Awards, they still recognize hip life. In our Ghana Music Awards, in Ghana, Obaha, one of our major award schemes, the flagship award scheme, Ghana Music Awards scheme, Telecel Ghana Music Awards. One of their categories, best hip life and hip hop category. And if Kwaw Kesse is talking about others living hip life and he is holding on to hip life, I think we need to give him his flowers. Yes, indeed. And now we use software, of course, he's doing typical hip life flow. Matisa the new from me by friend Amayari Fever, Yamako, and putting them into a feneto. And then Minyanti as matter of fact. I don't know why I've not heard that song. Just that I've heard some few people talking about it, but maintain and crossing baby, and I'm shocked. I think maybe after this you have to go and pay attention to it. Kwaw Kesse, Amayari Fever. I'm tired of sticker on our volume. Stick about the title, mommy. Not me who's a Kwaw Kesse new song. What is the title of that song? Now I have to go listen to it. My can come here and there, but minty no. So I'm not able to talk about it more. But the fact that Kwaw Kesse is saying he has been loyal to hip life, I think we don't have to argue about it. Abodam has been loyal to hip life, and this is good. But the title is saying Amayari Fever. All right, but this is title today. Amayari Fever. And Monja title na Monja na Bibi and Timija fine. Director, bring the next video. Na yeshe and also.
So the king of the street.
Oh, once a king, always a king.
You've not been dislodged by anybody?
Oh, nah, my throne is mine. You know, there are other people who are also kings in their little thrones. But
little thrones.
Of course. Yours you know, Kwaw is if you talk about madness, if you talk about streets, it's Kwaw. Now we have photocopies who have copied and they are trying to be like Kwaw, and they are doing their thing.
Who are they?
You know it. Just go out there, you will see people who are trying to be crazy like Kwaw, who are claiming streets, but all those things have done it.
But the notion is that those people are also commanding huge numbers.
Oh yeah, I respect that. It's time. You see,
somebody like Wale, for example.
Yeah, I respect what Shatta is commanding. Yeah, that is
for the streets. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You know, there are errors.
Yeah.
Abedi Pele's time.
Yes.
Abedi Pele, nobody could compete with him.
True.
Then came the Samoa Giant days, the Stephen Apia's days. You can't tell me that today because we have Kubus, you tell me that Stephen Apia is nobody.
Oh, yes, nobody.
You see, he is a king on his own throne.
Okay.
And we have the new cats who are also kinging.
They also do what?
They are king. You know, they are kings on their thrones. But we know who is the overall king of kings. They are kings and they are king of kings.
So you are which one?
I'm king of kings. You know, all these kids, they look up to me. You know, they all tap into my...
This is Hits.
Still the king of the street.
Oh, once...
Oh my word. Kesse. Well, I also love him for his sense of humor. No two ways about that. And I think I'll give him that regard. To start with, his sense of humor. I salute him on that. But let's come to the subject matter. The subject matter is about the industry and errors. In fact, he talked about errors. Indeed, it is true. When it comes to errors, there are some people who have done their error. In fact, they enjoyed all the goodies that came with their error. He may be part of it. Of course, when Kwaw Kesse was doing the pure hip life, in the days of execution and all those people, yeah, he was one of the kings in that era. And he ruled. There was the era of Okomfo Kwade, there was the era of Lord Kenya, there was the era of Bradford, and a good number of people. And indeed, he talked about they also having their time. But Kwaw Kesse should know this. If you are talking about King of Kings, it's not about those who are not on any throne. You have to be the King of Kings or a King of Kings at the time that you are sitting on the higher throne, not at the time that you have been dethroned. When you have been dethroned, you can't be the King of Kings. In fact, when we talk about kingdoms, like you go to a kingdom like the Ashanti kingdom, at the moment, the one who is the King of Kings in the Ashanti kingdom is the Otumfuo Osei-Tutu, or Pimso, as they call him. And there are sub kings or chiefs under him. That is fine. In fact, there have been people or there have been kings before Otumfuo before. Or there have been kings before Otumfuo. But today, they are not even alive. Today, they are not even living. Today, they are nowhere to be found. That is why when we talk about era and times and seasons, Obia ni timer or really. Time only is only to make us a King of Kings. So yes, if Kwaw Kesse wants us to give him his flower for ruling at a particular time, no two ways about that. We'll give him that flower. In fact, he should carry it with the highest confidence in him. But if we are talking about who is sitting on the throne today, I'm sorry, that can't be Kwaw Kesse. And this is to say it without no disrespect. This is to say it without disrespecting his brand. That's why I have given him his flowers when it was his time. And I used the example of the 248 and the Ashanti kingdoms. Yes, if you go into history, that's why today he's a 248 to a certain number. And to me, that some people have been there before. And those who were there, at that time, they were the King of Kings. They served their time. They did their time. In fact, they were able to rule massively, just as he is ruling today. But today, if there is one that we all have to bow to, if there is one that we all owe allegiance to, if there is one that we all revere, it is Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II. And not those who have come before him. They are gone, dead. They are done with their era. So I think if Kwaw Kesse wants us to give him his credit, his flowers for the time, we will do that. Reason we would respect him. But today, no. Today there is only one king. He was not ready to admit it was Shatta Wale. But whether he likes it or not, today in the music industry in Ghana, nobody comes closer to him. He is the one. In fact, there is no argument about that. Of course, the other day, I think in this same studio, we were doing a conversation about, I want to remember when Lumba died. We were doing a conversation about who is the greatest of all time. And at that time, I argued that, to me, at the time that we were doing that conversation, if you say greatest of all time, I'll vote Lumba. I will not even think about it twice. I'll vote Lumba. Because I'm sure even Shatta himself, when he was still dreaming to become top musician, maybe Lumba was there. Lumba had songs. Maybe Lumba was still hitting hard and Shatta was coming up. I want to believe. No two ways about that. And from that time till now, there is still Lumba. Even in his death. Of course, he's not 1 year after his death, so there is still Lumba. So if that time he was and now he is, of course, if you are talking about musician of all time, then let's vote for him. But now, Lumba is off the scene. Now, if Shatta can go, and we want to believe that by the grace of God, he will go. If he can go to the next generation, like the way now you turn around little children, Shatta Wale, babies, Shatta Wale, JHS, Shatta Wale, University, Shatta Wale, SHS, Shatta, the way he is going, then a time will come that we can now confidently hit our chest and say he is now the best of all time, the greatest to have done it, because at that time he would have transcended generations. He would have done generations upon generations. Then we can all salute him and say, yes, this guy is the greatest of all time. So yes, Kwaw Kesse has done his era. He's done his time. And we want to salute him for that. But today, I think he should be very honest to himself. To say he's the king of all kings, no. He can't be. In fact, we can do a simple test. We can do a simple test. Give him a day. Let's go to the Independence Square. Today is for Kwaw Kesse. Yes, Satia Bibia Mano. Kwaw Kesse's time. Let's do it. Another day, let's go to the Independence Square. Today is Shatta Wale's time. Let's do it. And that is where he will know his smoothness level. That is where he will know that indeed he has ruled before, but not as today. His power does not cut today. Today, I think Kwaw Kesse could have been honest and admit that, oh, yes, we've had our time. But today, if you are talking about the ruler in the music industry, I don't even want to do the street because the far crowd and come on best saying. Because it looks like Kwaw Kesse cannot say in a street, oh, that be street there. And best said before, yen can you mass semina, yen be papa nina son kasa. Street there. Based on your understanding of streets. And again, someone like Shatta is not doing abodam semo like crazy, like the way he was saying it, like, oh, some people want to behave like they are crazy. No. He is not doing a crazy thing. He's doing his music, he's doing his business, and he is inspiring generations. It's not about crazy. No, you can't just be crazy for nothing. You have to be crazy for something. So if Shatta is crazy, he's crazy for the music thing, because his passion and his strength and his everything is into the music, and that is why he is able to inspire generations even as of now. So ladies and gentlemen, today don't be deceived by Kwaw Kesse and the rant that he went to do on Hit FM. Don't be moved by the kind of perception he wants to throw out there. He's done his time, and once again I'll salute him for doing his time. But today there is only one king who is ruling music. In fact, if he wants to go the street conversation too, there's only one person there. Kwaw Kesse doesn't have it at the moment. No, Kwaw Kesse doesn't have that competition going for him at the moment, and that he should agree, he should admit, and he shouldn't even beat about the bush. He shouldn't be long with it. I'm sure the more he becomes longer with it, maybe that is where some kind of conversation will come out that might not make him look good. The more he becomes longer with it, then this will call for other conversations that might not make him look good. But if he should admit it that, Charlie, this is the time. It is the era of Shatta Wale. Let's salute him. Let's give it to him for what he has been able to do for himself. Then trust me, we are all good to go. And that should be fine. There is no argument about that. So, to Kwaw, in the music industry today, there is only one king. That king is Shatta Wale. In the industry today, if you want to move it the street way, however way that you want, there's only one person ruling it and controlling it. That is Shatta Wale. In fact, some of us, we have seen it from afar and we have seen it closer. So we can hit our chest and say it, that there is only one king running this stuff. In fact, running this shit. there is only one person, and that is Shatta Wale. There is no one. You can only admit to it, or you die. You can only admit to it. No argument. Like, there is no argument there. There is only one person. He controls it. Kwaw Kesse yes so no nanka. I say between the neck or two you kwa. Another simple test. Kwaw Kesse yes so no nanka same between no. And the neck or two you kwa. Anka love na Shatta Wale nya wo you kwa. No shows anko benye bi ene. And I know see try. I don't see try na. Yen calculate BB, yen bobo BB na yen fa Kwaw Kesse nkose yoku 24 hours. Pe na yen head the BC. So Kwaw Kesse said today if he is really the king ruling the street as he calls it, or yes sure that if it happens to him, you be who say any be amana. We a simple test. Why ready a bit me try. Onye ready so a bit me because I remember him Kwaw Kesse even when he was arrested in Kumasi for smoking weed. One of the people who really supported him was Shatta Wale. I remember this. When he was arrested in Kumasi for smoking weed, one of the people who really came out to support him was Shatta Wale. So there's only one king. Nobody should deceive himself, or nobody should try to deceive anybody. The king is one, and that person is Charles Nemo Mensah Shatta Wale, who is the couple of the Shatta movement empire. 18th, next week Saturday. A person who are Independence Square. Them oba on white. Aha, monk was black. Emma me am for hufi. Oba on white no mage na ubi. Now the on baby na on crossing the night. No monitor, no share. Now Oya or no misa no say who is the king. When we went to Kumasi recently, Rapaholic, of course. Two kings met, one king of rap, one king of dancehall, and we all saw it. It's Kwaw Kesse at the moment, king of what exactly? Because king of rap in the crowd, uncle, king of the street, uncle, king of the whole music industry, so uncle. And I quite say, ahini ni bi ho o yam right make us okay, and you dey better now na so. I don't know what means. You know, you recognize you ho. But the all really pan day-to-day activity, they all taking decisions no, or no, they the original and answer no. Maybe Kwaw Kesse wants that kind of feeling, and up and so no problem. Bet him that one, no be fine. Director, bring the next video now. I think we will be activating the phone lines very soon. Director should bring the next video now. And cut up now.
Just maybe
my son doesn't respect. My son doesn't respect. One time my son was on social media saying you're a bulldog, you killed Kwaw Kesse's manager. Yeah, I will expose you. Then my son came into my DM and he said, Kwaw, we need to talk. And I gave him my number. My son never called. I tried reach him out. He never responded again. You know, my son doesn't respect. He has disrespected everybody in the industry, even Kwame despite. My son insulted him. So if you are disrespectful, just remember that somebody knows the same game you are playing, and people will disrespect you. You see, so it's like that. There's nothing like you hate somebody, you hate this. No, we see my son insulted Sarkodie to the bone, and the next thing he was begging to be on his show.
Yes, maybe
my son.
A message.
Director, apart from this video, is there another video? This is the last one. I call last one. Okay. Mamisha last one. Mamisha last one. The moment I say, me
been change of genres. You know, I remember when the JQ time, those times, people switched and we're doing the palogo, the cake, those things.
Yes.
Then the Apietu style came. Then they said, you know, different genres.
Azonto style.
Azonto came. What was the other one?
Crank.
Cheapo,
okay,
Crank.
Yeah.
All these musics have come and gone. But Abodam music, when you drop Kesse music 20 years ago, it's still banging.
No,
all Bodam. So, my contribution, you know, sometimes people try to write you off, you know, but there's nobody in this industry can write me off. My contribution is large. You know, I am the one who brought this streetism in our music industry.
This is Hits.
It's been change of genres, you know.
Okay, so I think the last but two videos I would have a way to run it. The last but two videos I'll have a way to run it. Nah, Bibia, I fine. Now this is what we're going to do. I think that the very last one, he was talking about sounds and how he has remained loyal to his sound. And the fact that every month for switch a big zone to be say only a movie and Kobabia. Once again, we have to give it to him. But even in giving it to him, we can still ask some questions that you know, sometimes one movie because person be movie be near a month for you know, and yeah, it is so baby. So there are two things. There are two things involved here. Either you had the flexibility, you have the flair to also do what others were doing, or you were stuck. That's why you couldn't do any other thing. And I don't know which one for him. Maybe he had the flexibility to do other things, but no person obey. And now say, AB so there are no feelings. Okay, this is my comfort zone. I don't want to stress myself. Until you the among call me me body me bona nina ye. And you know, also no argument there. Some people decided to, based on times and seasons. It is like that. In this world, nobody is static. Entina, Ghana, and the industry nkophobia BT omono. Because ye moving from online era to ye moving from CD era to online era. No, they were not ready. They were still standing at one place. And then umbecho money na boys ne call. The boys are running millions and omuhu simple. And you know, and no so to say be era be by now change ya. Yes, what Jimmy and now nimbo now change. It is because you wanted to be part of what is trending, what is moving. It's in the end of machines I bought CD baby. Kanenka DJ beseti apa. Ne hu wise. A chain a akoso mo wise. But the neck a crab pa. A ball amp 2B, a ball speakers, we are playing. It is simple like that. And you know, no so one changing as a movie, you are still thinking say what you are doing is okay for you. That's your thing. Accept it and fine. Now, that you're moving on to the last but one video. No, you need sound common. Number one, according to Kesse, Shatta be Trobi or Facebook about Bulldog and the late Fennec, may his soul rest in peace. I'll say Shatta Kesse on in the Bekasa and a Shatta in Ankasa. And I idea one year time in Ankasa. One Kesse seems offended by it. As to why Shatta Antwas in Nankasa, or as to why I went to Nankasa there, for some reason Shatta decided not to continue that conversation or whatever. And I want to also. And it's obvious that Kesse is not happy about that. But I know as an artist, there are times where as an artist you are not reachable. And that your artist no one say there, it means you are missing out a lot. Because you don't put it the why artist own there, then you are late to start with, and that is fine. Now, the second one here, I say Shatta Wale has disrespected everybody in the industry, and that is where my interest is. I think among all the videos, this particular point is one of the videos with my high interest because one, and semubia and crophobia katoa over the years. Ebimu started the year Juma Palman who say no choir saying no choir. Almost started the year Juma started a can be as a Shatta more dear, as a Shatta, but I think so over the years. Motina di omo monitor aquano Jenny no. Omo say oh. And yes, I'm commoning na netie sao babia. Ebimu atiase say oh okay. Ebimpa. Anytime Shatta would come out to say anything, ubenya daje eremu no. Na there is a cause, there is a root cause a be na ba bontia be kasasa meti ha me nye sure say ye wo industry no obi obet maka say ono de one day sorry I'm not say Shatta na bontin ye no ana Shatta na bontin kana ho asem in fact wo sa record ni bi ma so na me pa wacho wo sa record ni bi say sorry ya call online na only Shatta nyesh on kan ho asem ba bia o mo ni din o ba bia ni ho nkom ba bia sorry ya fa phone na Shatta online o kan ho asem. Someone should give me one example like that. Na ebia me media nim ni aba be patch so we there. Ya nye ni ye kra ya power chop. Ya nye ni ye kra na patch. But over the years obi anim say de bia na baby be start no. Obi and the statical soldier no. He used the despite example. And once again, said despite example no person usual. Then we can also go back to the cause. And then they see into static can despite us. And now Shatta no about sorry, Shwenye no so phone. Odidi me and no so phone see the name. And despite. On several occasions, Shatta has been talking about how some elements on the despite platforms they are doing everything to destroy his brand. On several occasions, in fact, the one that really broke the camel's back was when Shatta acquired in negotiation, acquired in business. Ghana Music Awards UK. And I say, media awards saying I'm a J. But someone, Kesse in this case to be specific, was on Peace FM's platform. Saying they were £180,000 be out. Oh, how? Meanwhile, Omo industry name. I be records I says Shatta wa charge sika more than even £80,000. Even now, Kesse ikra more than. Kesse ikra more than. So what are we talking about? A dime pan yeka. Ube na obi akotena platform bi so na wakasa Shatta ho nsem poto. But no bi and sa platforms we nyina Shatta nim say owura. Owurame so a business person. Owurame so nim say someone for kasa sa say ejuma. And I will not take you back. Some time ago, now despite media led by Osekwame despite. Now I think says any birthday na bibi. Na edru ho a omo ye blood donation. In fact, they advertise it. E ma manfo bebre ba na ma ba blood donation. Na da come Kolebu blood bank. Omo ye for over the years. And Kolebu blood bank for no many Japan because sometimes obeko hospital na be emergency amount for no money be to save lives so but no money be. And him say nay, I don't know whether it is still happening. Say a yere and now girlfriend no kwako wa. Ye je obema no ye je umoja like ombetwe umoja si ho and na abusuani bi ombetwe umoja si ho. I don't know if they are still doing it because almost say edia during a war no e could do say ohia umoja nya fe ne ba be try ho. See e ko hwe umoja da be si so. Enti omo prepare said that bia war no mu na complication ba na see ye di umoja si ni so after abusuani ni kunu ni nua bi ne babi atwe umoja si o ma na ne pa ye da sort him. Now me, I don't know here be a cost supported blood bank, you know. It is there. Despite was doing it. And now I branch be. I think some friend now. I remember the name I mentioned to you. Our American pony Ghana. No finity. I branch and be a video be no jina but hey Ghana for more now despite the more say address then or demu ye moja address sikadro sa moja na omo jeje no despite jeje every birthday the money the odi moja ne ko ye okay can sense em no I can tell you I don't think can sense em no and na despite ejai sa de ne ebesi ne onye ebiem till today sa de ni dru asa blood donation om ko no now he doesn't do it again wejai and we across nipa bi across bank you know in fact a mankophobia lose adwuma because na hospital bi na health entity bi na be say adwuma no anya sa adwuma na number na etiomuka it wasn't free ye bewie obi the plastic chairs ebeba ama manfo atena so adwuma obi abeto nsuo adwuma ye beche Milo milk say amu ye wi amu konum no mu regain amu lost blood no ye adwuma mu bi because e ba ko to milk no Milo ye beto e be say ye adwuma ye wi po ne ma envelope mpo a ene kran ya bo obi. They are all working. But some na branch and be kind no since then. Rather despite say adwuma no ade no kran nye bi. It has caused a lot of people and even the Kwalebu Blood Bank institution. It say ebia ayobi anaka saade nanka oye from faso a anka yengu na adwuma. But on the benim say na onye from faso. No, that one far from that. But let's imagine say saade na bia nanka oye from faso a anka yengu na adwuma. It's the same thing some people sometimes do on some of these media platforms. Artists ni ye omadwuma no moto na ne nsem hu ya makasa mmen betwa mu na adwuma asai. Artist of Shatta Wale's caliber. Waye music for over 20 years. Na say ose okobo show wa brutri. Waje 80,000 pounds. One can say 1 million pounds. Ose waje 80,000 pounds. Ose oboa. Oh, to kaso oboa next time ko share obi no person near business. No cause mejo 50,000 pounds na 100,000 because you sell credit. Yes, so sika enrusa. And yes, I know. And we so be the year we now when ni embrya. Ask yourself. And what does Kesse mean by Shatta Wale with disrespect to your industry? No. Media for Shatta nyomunya issues now because those media people either said something destructive about his brand, or those media people tried to defame his brand, or those media people put out some lies about his brand. I know the idea when in Jida. In Ghana, Obianim said before I started working with Shatta Wale, whilst I was doing active media, I was one of the few people he was always responding to my calls. In fact, I'm not do a real. If I call Shatta for any response to anything on radio or on TV, Shatta would respond to me. And do you know why? Because he knows that I was very professional with my dealings on air. I don't talk anyhow about brands. And even till today, that I have worked with him, I'm in there, what other musicians go through, I'm very calculated, I'm very careful when I'm talking about brands. Because Charlie, it is not easy. Editing. And to beat me, build. Now man for kwatena, be a platform be no makan, almost a match no, or baby can be at all. And they make crumple and ne, what can be better than me feeling say, or no person can be job, make a mess on so. I don't know one person can't like now he decided to go. He decided to go mute on so many things. But my news are acquiring person because you guys, oh, Donny, go ahead. And I'll be saying, and I'll be canceling be, I'll feel is oh, can and cool. And you're cool. So if Kesse, after all these years, you as an artist, who cry dear yewa, not enne, who to me because Shatta Wale has insulted everybody in the industry. How do you mean? What exactly do you want to paint? What picture do you want to paint? Say Shatta Wale has insulted everybody. Insulted everybody like who? Say omo de omo ankano, omo anyane no sorry I know yom. That was some bad thing to say. As a matter of fact, as an industry couple out here, you know. Sounds one can ye, Kesse and can ye cry. Now, a man no me Shatta eba me just now. Omo no mo hu de ekoso, obi hu de ekoso. Obi hu de ekoso na say omo ye changes of their note. Now they are revising their note. Because the BA was no, so it was not like that. After all, time na or bana or can you send as an artist, you bit made them a panel, or can be bring now, man for who na a be more face or yom, and then the industry no show. Now look at where he is and where others are. And then near my what me as a musician, no, because I was a more Ghanaian musician, I ain't a bit me. How many Ghanaian musicians can go to Transaco and buy a mansion and live there? How many Ghanaian musicians can buy Lamborghinis, Rolls Royce, and be doing all sorts of businesses, Shagsy and Co? How many Ghanaian musicians can do it? Dabi. And to work Kesse as an industry couple, our names are now because Shatta Wale has disrespected everybody, has insulted everybody. I say, okay, work on. In fact, I can't crew her. Omo Maki can't say much man for industry. Kesse, you are number one. Should we say you disrespected them or insulted? No, because maybe at the time, how you understood the industry, they were not going by that. and you decided to correct them. And I don't know why today or not bonting because we're going interview, a person looking good, a person trendy, he wants to go viral. Shatta kind, you won't go viral, you won't trend, time go tell, man go learn. A person will come viral to 21 and some can't send basa by heart. To what extent? To what extent? You could not even protect your own person. Say, industry told me I'll say any break kasa because in funny brand kasa life be as I see a living as musicians. The yent me living. The industry told me I'll say and go football face your head on because you face your head on on my life not actually. No, Kesse did not see all these things, but rather disrespect and insult. I think that particular statement was very disappointing to have come from him. And just so you know, to see a chromo yehu one papa and one and your papa of music industry. It is now becoming evidently clear those who are right and those who are not. And Kwaw, me salute you for whatever you have done for the industry. Why born home why you may be brave in my industry no. Name with na platform so kasa na opesa man for the obu ne de also aye over the years editor so na ye man sa salute na me bacho aya sure kasa mu ye. So why you so be kasa say Gen Z they treat you like Gen Z o. Ne mo ban out oh wow. Papa na kasa na kasa ne mu dopan. Yeah, he's talking like someone who has experience in this space. Intino Munfa respect into so. And no yet this will be book as of try in the back of it back on a bono. Say jam kasa sem no ntimi kasa enchire nsa. But my kasa ne basa sa dia. Omo be response be basa o. Emphasize anka tetena ka Shatta o sa element ni man ka by this time. Anka ye budget. Can you budget if say fa. And then I hear headless because hit baba and can hit baba and can so jabbery. But sometimes you cannot chum. There is the game aspect, there is the business aspect, there is the emotional aspect in whatever we are doing. But in all, we live. Let me see. We are closing. So many of your comments online. I'll see how I can read some of them. Nafe, it will be a banner. Samuel Sawoje says, Bra Sammy. Ifort Kwala says, hello, bro. How are you doing today? Good work, SM family. Ifort Kwala has given us more fire emoji. Frederick Apia says, hi, family. Sammy, good afternoon. This is coming from Skido King. Says, Sammy, good afternoon. Sammy, how is your family? Love Shatta Wale. Gideon Body says, Bra Sammy, what's up? How you doing? You look fresh. I see you trying to show off the guns too. You've been in the gym? Charlie, I've not been in the gym in a long while. We call gym a chair of my memory. Skido King says, Kesse that be men Kesse Kesse is a full patcho. Gideon Body says, Kwaw is bad because Shatta did not show up for his mom's funeral. So he's bad hurt. Let me kind. The antique style of music back in the Moses days. That's why he needed Shatta to trend. That be Missimo Bian Yobia Timunya Kwasia song that be Mamonyanisa. Let's be professional and factual. Andrews Latin so say he is a that be Mamonyesa. Joseph Aqua says, so Kwaw, you know say Shatta Wale doesn't respect. Why were you crying for Shatta show up at your mother's funeral if you don't know? If you know, don't let me tell you Shatta Wale no loyal people in the industry, not you. Gideon Body says, you can respect. Like I said, he has smoked all his brain cells away. He has lost all his sensible thinking ability since away Dabi. Adams Tamino says, watching you live from Germany. Please, there is no sound. No sound, Pacho. Director's emotional sound in your clear. Gideon Body says, Shatta is doing that now. He's been going catalogs, album sales, influence. What else do you want him to do? He's the GOAT. Kojo Ban says, Sammy, Kwaw, that time is forever thinking. She stop saying no. Bro, for me also. Afraid someone says maybe he's king of Abadan for Derby. Gideon Body. I also believe we need to educate people when we say the word street. They think we are referring about ghetto, weed smoking, vagabond. They part of them. When it comes to Shatta, when we say street, we are talking about the ordinary person, the hustler, the mechanic, the taxi driver, the market women, the grandmothers, the babies, the lawyers, the people. Kojoman said, Brass, I'm watching you live in Shatta, Wale. Hey. Gideon Body says he went there to do a promo for his song, and the only thing people are talking about and trending is Shatta. That tells you who the real Don is. Zachary Abdul says, good evening, Daddy. Gideon Body says he cannot change. He is a one-way artist. He cannot adapt and just. He is not versatile. Gideon Body says, despite stop the blood drive because evangelists are there. I think that's the name I was looking for. Evangelists are there. Evangelists are there, tarnish his name and accuse him of using the blood for money rituals. Great point, Brother Sammy. Yes, evangelists are there. That was the name I was looking for. Yeah, friend, no, evangelists are there or US. Gideon Body says, I sent you a video on WhatsApp. Let me know what you think. Yeah. That video, I think we will do something with it this evening. Brother Sammy, do you have any information for the Grammys? Yeah, go to train voting results. Gideon Body says, what Kwaw said about Shatta being respectful does not hold any weight. The media have now begun to see and understand Shatta and where he was coming from. Thanks to you, Brother Sammy, also. And Sparrow says, we still the shutdown everywhere. And that is what we are doing. Let me check on Facebook to see who is here. We are in fact course 1212 be na fe yenyan free here. Your time as on Friday. Friday and so your best party kakra because Professor Ankonam Rebel Walande Sika Bebre or see Fendi Friday inti. And then on Saturday me kind of control mode omunya bi omo happen on benyabi. As entertainment says, keep doing the good work. Sammy, we love you. George Ferguson, broadcast journalist, says, tell Kwaw that we will respond to him after the Shatta Fest. Charlie, anytime, Crampo. And the Flow says, Sammy Flex, you are the best. Edmond Otu Yeboah says, kudos Flex, I like the way you have addressed the issue. You showed maturity. Ralph Asuman says, watching live from Derby, UK. Bismarck Kintra says, bro, what is going on about Stone Boys Come on S? Let's forget about that. Nana Obo says, good job, Sammy Flex. Good job, Sammy Flex. Okay. Now, we have about some 7 minutes that we can do on the phone. Yes. The phone lines have been on the screen since, and we are just doing about 7 minutes. So you can also call in now. It is 024. Okay, I should put it on right. Okay. It is 024351 on WhatsApp, and you can also call the studio 0506767009. But let me hit here first. Hello, good afternoon from Ghana.
Oh, brother. Yeah, we're Sparrow.
Sparrow, did you have a call?
Oh, what they are doing?
All right, Sparrow, you time as well.
Oh, your friends need my late Kakrabu, but a shutdown, Trump was shutting government down because of politics now up every day into and fact into on work to see home down. Okay.
I know.
But we will Kesse Kesse me to be frank, me and Dansuma boy, me and Tama boy, and I'm saying Takadi boy. Kesse, me and what do you make us say Shatta will bow? Who can say my mistake? Because we didn't grapple 47. It's Yenimu. You mean into the Aquacasi. I think it's an episode chasing clouds, which is okay. We don't care about that.
Okay.
But don't come and say things you don't really ever hear we want. You need the on Jana Semano. Shatta first did here, Charlie. Why not you?
Are they?
Yeah, because I just say one time I bad night because maybe Shatta share che. Many share che. Share na be Juma Emma we your friend is saying Dansuma man we Jordan Sammy and first no. King Danis Anyaman. Nana King, proud.
Okay.
In the about so as man, me call the church, me call sorry or down on my sorry or sorry be or on Monty. As well as in this room, there's a better to because someone has a normal some
all right. All right.
Yeah. Thank you so much. My ballet.
All right, Sparrow. Thank you. Mami Sheha, I'm ready. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, guys. I mean,
make my first and everything.
I'm going to say,
Bibi Aboko, a first and everything.
Kesse Ashama Tareka.
All right, Yentio.
Pepacho, Kesse. Uncle Dakra, no attention. And then could I almost 1 year credit Wale. No, Kesse. I could have 1 year been able to Kesse down, being Kesse.
Thank you.
John Uncle Dakra.
Thank you. Thank you. Fact.
That's it.
Miss Medasi. Mami America. Gideon Boadi is there. Gideon, good afternoon.
Hey, bro, Sammy, how you doing?
I'm good, bro.
So say there's scabon, I swear.
Mama scam more me home more. Mama ne more me home more. Mama si can soon me home more.
So before I go to the topics of the day, you have to say activation for a summer fest and I slow maybe be and I'm going to say.
And then I slow.
Activation on publicity promotion for this.
The concert you release supporting artists in Munchen. BBA concert. My
release supporting artists
Adentia.
You person make a point to be and
oh, we don't live on an island. We do everything with people, so sometimes just for that purpose. After all, you're
right.
Exactly.
Listen, you made a very valid point I was going to actually make when I came on the line. See, I have said this time and time again, people don't understand why Shatta Wale was mad at Osekwame Despite. See, Osekwame Despite is a company. Shatta Wale is also a company.
Fact.
They both have employees that they pay every month.
Fact.
Shatta Wale also have employees that he pays every month. There's people that Shatta Wale take care of. There's people that Osekwame take care of.
Okay.
When you let your company try to disrespect and tarnish the name of my company, how do you want me to sit there and allow that to happen? You see, opinion
yeah.
What you said, and you didn't like it when Evangelist Ade came and accused you of using the blood donation for money ritual. You immediately stopped. You immediately stopped, and now people are suffering because you couldn't take the heat.
Yeah.
Because people was propagating false narratives about your brand.
Exactly.
So why would you sit there and let your employee disrespectfully sit on national radio and say, maybe get me boy. Come on, bro. You know, so he got a taste of his own medicine, and Kwaw doesn't understand these things because right now Kwaw is upset that he publicly invited Shatta Wale and Shatta didn't show up for his mother's funeral. But you have to understand it's about relationships and how you and the person is vibing at the time. You have been on Shatta Wale's top for no reason for a long time. Why would you expect him to come to your mother's funeral and support you after you have been disrespecting him all this while? So we let them do what they want to do because the name Shatta Wale, if you don't have album sales, talk about Shatta Wale. If your music career is not going good, talk about Shatta Wale. If you're not relevant in the system, talk about Shatta Wale. Anything you want to do to get yourself out there, talk about Shatta Wale. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. Okay, I'm someone here ready. We can only end it here. It's 4:30 already. We didn't intend to get here. And I can see a point 4 crampuna. A delay kakranti. Yes, we have to moso kakra. So let's end it here. And I'm sure after Showbiz Daily, which is 7 p.m. live on this channel, we are going to start our weekend once again. Let me say big shouts to Professor Ankonan Rebel. I think that was somewhere last week on the Friday Showbiz Daily Nokase. This Friday there, Obe make sure say Obe my dollars kakrane there are 2 party. Indeed, I woke up with a whole lot of dollars on our phone. I say Yanjina Yanfanto party for the Friday. So once again, today's Showbiz Daily is going to be more like a party. Big shouts to Professor Ankonan Rebel. Your friend Osia there, Oka Oye, Osia Oyo. And we appreciate you so much. He's been supporting this platform since time immemorial. So we want to say thank you to him. So meet us at 7 p.m. on the dot. Showbiz Daily, right here on Sammy Flex TV. Big shouts to the producers, Theophilus Digosh, Desert, Sammy Truga, and Gerald for putting things together. And again, big shouts to DJ Sticker, my former DJ at Xylophone FM. Sticker answers here, BBO. Yeah, why? Live, I know, Bonyum na nema. A baby, I believe in baby. Shatta, baby. So watch out for that. Subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, and remember that at 7 p.m. we'll be giving you the very final show on Showbiz Daily for the week. My name is Sammy Flex. Until then, we'll meet again when we meet. Salute.
Subscribe with 20 Galaxy. Use it for 12 hours. 12 hours in minutes is 720 minutes. All the money you make is yours.